put it this way, in the advantage of taking this one home, if we can put it.
Well, we'll see if they can do it. But first and foremost, we do have to take a peek at the Vulcan League. Of course, it's another practice league you can join in and actually get your investment matched by the admins. All you have to do is click the banner right below our stream. Just click it, or use the promo code either, or you can use the promo code CounterPit, and they'll match up to $1,000 for you. And look at all. I mean, there's tons of stuff going on in here. This site's actually so. I'm not a big fan of betting skins. I don't really enjoy virtual reality value, if that makes sense. I'm not big on. I like skins. I think they look cool in game, but I'm not a big guy in betting them. I don't really think it matters that much for me. However, and teach their own, by the way. That's not nothing against you if you think that's the fun thing. I mean, betting does make it a little more interesting for the viewership, but however, fantasy leagues have always been something for me. I'm a big F1 fantasy guy, so this is really cool for me. And look at, I mean, there's tons of leagues going on right now. This is just in Counter Strike. Obviously, a lot around the ESL Pro League. Here's us right here, the double up counter pit qualifiers. So there's actually a couple leagues for us today. You can basically jump in. We're going to jump into the practice league for 250 prize pool, but there's the double up as well with a bigger buy-in. But that's a pretty small group. There's only 25 people in that, so your chances are really good. There's actually one spot left if you wanted to jump in on that. There is a $10 buy-in, of course, on that one, $25 buy-in on the AOG, but ours is free. And as a practice league, you get a 3-cent return just for playing it. So the more practice leagues you do, I know it's a 3-cent thing, but it's for free, and you can build that money pretty quickly. Not to mention there's tons of League of Legends and Dota as well. So if you're following multiple esports, the site's pretty much got something to offer. So we'll jump in. Now, Volti, we've done a few of these picks because each division of our bracket has had a practice league. So there's been 3 opportunities. This is the third now to practice. And the one that you picked with me was actually our most successful one. I sucked the other day. So let's let you pick this again. Of course, today we do have, basically it's going to be the 4 teams again. Once we get into the league, of course, we'll see how the main teams come out. We'll take a look at those groups in just a second. But we have Mouse Sports, G Play, G2, and Encore that we have to consider. G Play played amazing, so that series is going to be a little tighter. I'm still favoring G2 over Encore, so maybe we'll pick from them first. And Mihu was our. I'm gonna just pick Mihu as our first player. After that, you can take the rest.
Okay, yeah, Amihu definitely. He's a number one. After that though, I really want to say, or I had someone here. What was it? Yesterday I watched Mouse Sports and Chris J was on fire yesterday, so I'm just gonna take a bet on him and hope that he does his best now.
Okay, his stocks actually dropped a little bit behind Dennis, but Dennis has gone down himself. Nex and Dennis are their 2 top players in the first part of the qualifier for these guys. I'm going to go with Dennis because with Chris J and Dennis playing together, so this is the things you have to consider is the dynamics of the team. Chris J and Dennis are both super aggressive. I actually tweeted saying I love this new lineup. I think they're
Hmm.
really fun to watch. You got to remember that we invited Penta directly to this league, and now half a Penta, or actually 60% of Penta, is now here on Mouse Sports. So you think that bodes well for them. So the way that these two play together, if Chris J's not on, Dennis is there in the support role to cover him with the rifle. So if Chris doesn't get kills, Dennis will. So it's almost a safe bet to pick up both. Now, that said, we've used almost half of our salary, and we only have 3 out of our 8 players picked. So we need to slow it down a little bit. Let's take a peek at Encore. Who could we grab from them?
Hmm.
Remember, this is the other part of this is there's only one section of this bracket, which obviously in the league that won't apply, but everyone's going to play the same amount of games. There's no someone getting eliminated and someone moving forward.
Uh. Well. I'm getting. I'm getting structured. I'm not too sure if I want to go and say that we should choose in it or NKL, but
NKL, so you're on G Play. Okay, so
yeah,
NKL, decent value actually for him.
yeah.
Last day points, he had 80 points. That's pretty good distribution actually. Victor was worth a little more. Victor was pretty solid for them yesterday. That's definitely true. So, but we can always grab him later. Okay, let's go NKL. I like that choice.
Mm. And with that, I don't. I forgot to put one player. I have Chris J, Mihu, and KL. Who have I missed?
Uh, we also have Dennis. I grabbed Dennis. Sorry, I thought
Yeah.
you were
Okay.
asking from that roster. No, I grabbed Dennis
Uh,
because he's been pretty awesome. Like I said, they play well with Chris J. So if one's not getting kills, the other one chances are will be.
yeah, it's like a double play.
So right now we have one from every team except Encore. Let's go to Encore. They don't have last
S-
save points in this league, obviously, because they didn't play. But I'm trying to think back. I think Disturbed,
Stonda?
man, Stonda's the top value player, but they're all like decent. This is really close value for these
Yeah.
guys. We could put him in. That's going to drop us down below though, below our 3 grand mark, and still have 3 players to pick up. I'm going to take a chance here on Disturbed. This is a weird chance to take. No, I'm going to go Disturbed. I feel like he's due for a good game. He's been dropping off lately, but he's only averaging 38 in this season, but these guys aren't averaging much. Nasu, okay, Nasu's averaging huge, and he's only like $100 more. Let's go Nasu. We'll go Nasu. I like it.
Yeah. And that means how much do we have left?
We have 3 players left to pick. We have 1 from each team at this point. We have 2 from Mouse Sports, but we have 1 from each other team. So who do we think is going to win this series? G2. We should probably pick up another G2 player then.
Yeah.
Let's
Or should we trust
grab.
the weather?
Uh, it's a tough call. I think we're going to stick with G2 on this one. I think that would be. It's a
Yeah.
safer bet. They have more frag potential anyway on that team. So
It's really what counts here, is it?
for money, let's go Innocent. Now we have 2,900 to grab their last 2, so we have to stay pretty passive. That means we can't grab Victor from Gplay. On Mouse Sports, we can't really grab Nex either. Oh, if we grab actually, we can grab Nex. We still have 1,500. I'm gonna grab Nex because he's been the other player that's been averaging fairly well. So that leaves Speedy out and Gobby out, but it gives us 3 Mouse Sports players. We only have 1 from Gplay, but they're against Mouse Sports, so that makes reasonable sense. All right, I'm
Can we
gonna let you
buy?
pick the last player, whoever you want.
Hmm. I'll just go with Victor from Gplay.
We can just barely afford him. That's actually a really good choice. This team actually
Yeah.
probably has the highest potential of all of our teams we've picked so far. So, all right, who's going to be our shot caller, though? Who's our highest averaging player right now?
Um.
160 from Next last game, 120 from Dennis. Victor was at 121. So Next has actually been the highest. He's not playing today. Mihu's playing today, and he actually has the
And
highest
he.
average.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go Mihu. He didn't let us down
Yeah. Let's
last
go.
time. Let's go with Mihu. All right, so he's going to be our shot caller for 25%. Oh, what did I do? I clicked him off the team.
No.
Let's add him back. He's going to be our shot caller for 25% increase. So 2 point for kills, 1.6 points for assists, -1 for deaths. It's pretty straightforward. It's all in the FAQ on how it works if you're curious. Of course, we did have to match that salary, so we did so. We actually still saved a little bit of money, not a huge amount. That's actually pretty efficient. We pretty much spent what we could. So that's what we spent out of our $10,000 salary. So we're gonna join. I think this team's really good. I'm excited for this one actually.
Hmm.
Go to lobby. All right, there you go. So here's the lobby we're in, and we'll get notifications as things go down. So
We
cool.
had the
All right.
same lineup.
We had a very similar lineup. We
Yeah.
didn't have the same one. We had Mihu as the shot caller for us last time. So that's it. All you have to do, of course, if you go to the live tab, you can check out all the games that are going on. You just basically click Counter Strike. Over on the right side, there's a drop down. So Fragbite, Counter Pit League, CEVO Season 7, ESCA, and DreamHack Tours. Of course, that's
See if
done. That'll be
Nylon
removed
can
soon.
kind of
And see,
regroup with the
there you go.
rest
It
of their
pops up,
team here.
and we have MLG going on right now. So you just select what you want basically, and it's there. It's all available. You can pretty much do everything Counter Strike related through this site. And there's a blog as well, so they'll do updates on who's been hot, who's been cold, and who's to pick and who's to not pick. So that's that. I did say we would take a look at the groups. There they are, and as mentioned, winner of today. Now I don't know who from which level of the bracket goes to which group. I assume in the top half of the bracket's Group A, so I'm assuming the winner of this game, Gamers2 or Encore, is going to be in Group A. So that would put them with Flipside, Ninjas in Pajamas, Virtus Pro, Team Dignitas, and Natus Vincere. That's a pretty solid lineup. You got to remember, out of those lineups right now, we have Virtus Pro and Natus Vincere, who have both won major titles this year. Not the majors, but big titles, top level titles. And I got to be careful how I use the word major these days.
Yeah.
And NIP, who's always a threat. They're the only ones. They did win Asus ROG in Finland, and I think the first weekend it was the weekend after MLG either way. So I think
Yeah.
the
What?
first weekend in February. But they played Hellraisers in the final. Sure, it's a good team, but there wasn't a big depth pool in that lineup. So Ninjas in Pajamas are actually the team in that roster that group that haven't won something. They're kind of due. You'd think they would have had Face It with a 16-1 and then an overtime in the second game. That actually really crippled them. They look pretty distraught after that loss. So Group B is the more interesting one from that regard because Envious has won a title. Team Solo Mids won a title. Penta, different roster, but Titan was really strong at EPL. There's 3 good teams in each, and then 2 other teams that can surprise. So either group's going to be really interesting to watch once we get in there.
And it's the winner of this one goes to Group A, is it?
I believe so. I think that's exactly how
Yeah.
it works. And then, therefore, it would be either G Play or Mouse Sports that go into the Group B. And Mouse Sports actually have a good chance in that because Penta basically is half their old team. So
It's gonna be a
yeah, it
read.
bodes really well for them. I think that if they can get into that group and get past G Play, G Play has been really hot lately. But if they can get past G Play, then they have a really good chance to do some damage in that group. I think they're an exciting team. I think there's a lot of bright things. Mouse Sports been one of those teams for a long time. They've had individual skill, but they've never really been able to get it going. Nico is, I think, one of the most individually skilled players in the scene right now. Unfortunately, they went back to speaking German, and that kind of segregated him, and therefore they couldn't use him in the current lineup. But I hope he gets a team soon. I really do.
Hmm. All right, I think, are we jumping into the game or?
I think we are. There we go. I had my music list open. But yeah, everyone's ready. So just to go over the maps today, we do have Cash picked up first. And that is, of course, actually, let me bring that back up because I don't remember who picked who. I already forgotten. Cash was GAMERS2's pick. And then we have Dust2 from ENCORE. Mirage is next. The vetoes were a little bit interesting. They banned out Inferno first on GAMERS2's side. Obviously, they're aware that ENCORE are quite good on it. And then ENCORE took out Train because it is in the map pool for this league. And I expect we're going to see a lot of that Train going out. I expect only the top teams who are confident enough in their individual skill will pick that. The lower teams, especially in a qualifier, aren't going to gamble on that. So that's no surprise that it went out early. And then therefore it's banned picks. So GAMERS2 then picked Cash. Dust2 went directly onto ENCORE, which left Overpass as the third due to the fact that, Overpass was banned out, and then Cobblestone. So then we had sort of those second level of newer maps that went out. So Cobblestone could have slipped in here, and we've seen GAMERS2 play it, but it's not their first choice, obviously. So that left Mirage. My mistake. I misread that. So Mirage is the third map if needed.
Yeah. All right. And you know we're facing off here, and it's the first map is gonna be Cash. GAMERS2 pretty much choosing this, and not seeing GAMERS2 play too much earlier on here on this map because yeah, I've been busy with school and everything. So can you give me a refreshment here or what's going on?
GAMERS2's been changing things up. Obviously, they've been in and out of different rosters. We do have our Knife for Sides coming up. The thing with GAMERS2 is that their CT side's quite strong, although their T side can be really impressive. I find it kind of streaky. A lot of people give them big credit for their T side. I'm not fully convinced on it. I have seen really good maps, and then I've seen maps where their execution is really poor. Cash has been more consistent for them, so I would watch for a lot of smoke executions. They seem to favor the A side when they're on T, but it's ENCORE for me that really has to show up today. Obviously, they're the more recent roster changes, although they're separated by only a few weeks in those decisions. But they've got more to prove, I think, in this game.
Yeah, all right. And obviously, playing CT is definitely going to be the advantage right here. And with that said, everyone's going to do everything to get that now. And ENCORE pretty much having the advantage here in the knife round.
This is good. It bodes well, although it's not done just yet because Karan's low, Stonda's low. It's now just down to Malzino, and Malzino can't do anything. So Karan will close it out. ENCORE. I love how this is the trend lately. It never used to be a big thing, but now that the knife round's over, just kill all your teammates as well. So ENCORE are going to get the start they want. They'll go, yes, they will swap over. Although, okay, no, Xart is just using a different name. Are we going with Xart or Zarte? Because I've been hearing both from every caster lately.
Yeah, me too. Like, I don't even know myself anymore because so many people are saying that, yeah, different.
It's weird because chat normally corrects you, but chat's been, like, allowing both lately. So we'll let chat decide, maybe. Are we going with Xart or Zarte? I don't know how you
Xart sounds more Scandinavian.
Yeah, I think that's what Vendetta told me it was supposed to be. And I've talked with Natsu, and he referred to it as both. I think Natsu actually referred to it as both. I'm not sure. Natsu, reach out to me, bro. I'm going to have to message him later.
Yeah. All right, facing into the first round here.
Zoolander, says Van Silly. All right, we'll go with that for a bit.
Zoolanders?
What? No, we're not really going with that.
I'm just... All right, coming into this first half, or in this first round, obviously, GAMERS2 here, and it looks like already they're deciding, hey, we want to go up to the A side and see what we can do, and this is what you were talking about earlier here, coming up with some flashes and smokes, and they're just going to execute instantly. They don't want to wait anything. They're just going to be pushing, and right there, it started going down, and getting into this one, 5-on-4 situation, GAMERS2 pretty much just holding this down right now.
And they executed quite efficiently with only the one smoke. Slight gap, but they still get to the backside of the site. Mihu is smart here to watch this push from B because on the pistol round, that's very common that the B players will rush a lot more aggressively to get on the flank early. And actually, it's working out. Disturb finds one. Nasu's already got one on the front, and that means Michu does have to get back into Disturb quite quickly. Otherwise, they're going to be on this defuse, and that's exactly the case as Innocent inside the site does pick up one, and Michu picks back out. They pulled this back. They managed to stay alive, and that's good, efficient play. Really smart from Michu to watch the backside. But again, that one execution, slow play, but two smokes up. They use one late after the bomb goes down. That buys them a little more time, and they got really fortunate that the first player down, I think everyone's saying we have to go for Zarte. Zarte actually dropped a flash that they then were able to pick up off his corpse and use to their advantage in slowing down the retake even further. So that worked out really well for GAMERS2.
Yeah, it did, and the fact that they just held that down is just gonna be, you know, obviously the fact that we had Mihu holding it from behind, and one of them actually went down. He just stick there. He didn't want to push or anything, just pretty much holding it and waiting for the frag to come at him is just gonna be so important because that keeps him alive and can support the other play that was alone. So Mihu right here is gonna be pushing up on main, finds a kill on one player, and NSU is actually gonna get that one kill on him. So 4-on-4 situation, getting this equalizer is gonna be important. But Mouse and Manice just doing great work as they finish out these two frags actually, and Innocent just coming up middle here, and he's gonna get disturbed down as well. So 2-0 right now, and Encore, it's not a good start here for them, but obviously they're playing this pistol and facing up into the... Yeah, it's early.
That was an interesting play because they did stack up actually onto the A site, and they got that push on Mihu. The problem with Mihu dying way back in the entrance to A main is he doesn't actually have a read that there was 2 more players in the site. Luckily, when they came out with the SMGs, they were able to get those kills because if he got the read that there was more, if they pushed in fully aggressive, they would have just gone back to B. Either way, it works out well. They only lose the 1 player. Now Spiro with the Tech 9 is going to catch them pushing. So this is an aggressive play still again with these pistols because they want to get an early read and at least try and wrap. So they gamble for a stack on B this time, and at the very least it's a train stack. So pushing all the way through, they'll wrap and play for the retake on A, but it doesn't even get that far. It's pretty efficient play from G2, but here come the guns. We'll see if finally we get to a slower pace from ENCORE.
Yeah, and obviously here we're seeing the economy is not really on their side because we haven't got all nades. For example, NSU not even with flashes or anything, and Disturb not even with the smoke there. So might play out in the difference. Now coming up here on T side, Gamers2, they're playing a great play, and we'll see if they can keep executing into the sides like they did earlier on the first round with these weapons on their hands. Now we're seeing NSU. He's down here on Vent's room, and they're just pretty much holding this down, trying to gather info on what Gamers2 is doing. ENCORE is just pretty much just playing on the defense here and waiting for the time to tick out, and Gamers2 waiting for an entry to come at him, waiting for mistakes all of a sudden here. So Gamers2 playing a little bit of an unsure play here, but Mouse, he's gonna take that peek eventually, finds Sart, he's gonna go in for the frag, and he will get it as well. Manice on NSU as well, and Standi actually replying onto that as Mouse actually goes down now 3-0, and it's a 3-on-4 situation. ENCORE with this in their hands pretty much. Gamers2 are still playing a defensive play, waiting for peeks to come at them. And ENCORE, what they're really doing right now is a great smart play because we have a rotation coming up to the B side, and they're pretty much reading that, hey, we got that 1 kill on A side. They're not going to be willing to push that far once again if we keep holding this, because now they think there's 2 players waiting here for them. So Disturb, what he's going to be doing is going to be throwing out that flash, trying to buy time, and it's just going to be working as they want to push in. And Innocent, though, still finishing off with 1 frag. Standi replying instantly, getting Innocent, and that's going to be important.
That's important because they haven't crossed into the site yet, and that actually drops the bomb. They're lining up on this peak to try and take him, but they do force him off it. So Michu does get an important kill. He's going to catch out on the last player. Caron, he will go down. So Mihu, good push through. A little bit late on that execution. There was a chance for Stond, actually. He looked like he was going to rotate off early, but he was patient, waited back by Z for the right call. But we saw that late force play, that flash that came over the top to force the player out in vents. That's just checking to make sure that they don't have to cover as many angles when they do go for the entrance. Either way, it was still a little bit poorly executed with no smoke to cover off that CT connector, so that op shot really could have made a huge difference for them, but right back to pistols as a result for ENCORE. A little bit more mid-aggression. Stonda trying to watch out for the boost, and he actually might spot Disturb to gets up there. Actually, it's Manice. I take that back. Manice, who's all the way up. Spiro's already found Disturb, but good push. They aren't done here just yet, and by controlling this mid a little bit early on, it actually forces the hand of the offense early, despite that they have guns, and they might just be able to damage the economy by catching them off guard here. Another reverse boost, but again, they are inside A already, so the round's definitely going to go to G2, or should go to G2, barring some huge mistakes, but that mid push, look what it does. Now Nasu actually pushes up and gets that AK, and they can just save these guns and do damage to the economy. Not going to happen. Spiro, good weight and good patience, catches Karan.
And NSU here with the AK, there's not much he can do. No one else is in here, though, as far as I can tell, and NSU is going to be pushing out. He could get that free kill on Innocent, picking up that skinned AK because it looks better. Or maybe just to get that ammo, and Spiro is going to be finishing him off. Really a tab out holding off there because he wanted to push out to the A side, though the bomb was planted. Not expecting anyone to be there is a poor play, because the fact that he actually met one is going to be spotting himself out and, you know, just pretty much get surrounded by enemies. So, poor play coming up there as the save comes down by ENCORE, or NSU, I believe it was? Yeah, NSU. So, it's not going to be working out all the way, but facing into this next round, we're going to be seeing a Byron coming out by ENCORE, and with that said, Stana with that up, we'll see if he can do some work this time. 5-0, and Gamers2 pretty much holding this advantage on the first half so far now. We'll see what comes up next.
Smoke out from the T side, interestingly enough, to try and allow them just to sit still. And that does actually force Standa back because he can't get the peak anymore, and they can push directly onto the checkers. Karan's finally going to come over, so a different formation this time from ENCORE in this gun round to put 3 toward mid, 1 in B, but yet they've yet to get control of the vents, and that's pretty important that they haven't been able to do so. Even the first round when they had the guns, they put 1 inside the checker room. They couldn't get him to the vent before the boost was stopped by the push onto B, and Michu going to find Disturbed again. It's not really going well for ENCORE to establish this map control. Again, 3 mid, that's fine, but if you can't get to vents, they did try and come back through them on the reverse side, but they'd already entered in B, so Michu was waiting. If they can't get to the vents, it's going to make it really hard to hold this B site, and Michu now going to catch Nasu. He did get 1 just before that, but it's all left on to Zarte, and in a 1v3 with the M4 and not a lot of economy, I think it's best he just tries to save this gun, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. So ENCORE really need to make sure that they shut down this B push, and I think vents is the key to doing it, because if they don't, again, we talked about GAMERS2, how they've gone A a lot in the past. They're found a hole right now, and they're just going to keep exploiting it until it's covered off at B.
Yeah, and the fact that he actually threw that Molotov on Vents actually bought some time, because NSU, he wanted to push through, get that 1 peek onto, was it Vents room, and actually get the frag to entry up to the B site for the team. Now, the fact that they throw that Mihu actually threw that Molotov is going to make such a difference, because it buys so much time, and we even saw NSU backing off to mid at some point. So, you know, fact there, it's just a matter of time play coming up here by GAMERS2 as they get the after plan situations. Now, getting into this next part of the round, we'll see how GAMERS2 play this off, and pretty much getting into the A side here. There's going to be 1 player holding this down so far, but the rotation is coming out really quick. Maniz, Mazzino, and the gang just pushing into the A side here. We'll see how this faces off. Mouse with a great kill, but that's going to be a reply instantly by Sonda. That's going to be so important. The equalizer is coming up, but Mihu getting the 1-man advantage as he picks off NSU. 1 more will go down. Spirit with the op, just doing great work, executing into the side correctly and clean. 2-on-4 situation right now, and Karan and Disturbed, there's not much they can do here. They've got 2 FAMASs in that 1 flash, or 2 flashes now, as we see a pickup coming up by Karan, but Disturbed is going down, and it's just going to be a dark moment here for Karan.
Yeah, Getty finds himself all in the lonesome, so that time they did go A. Perfect execution, came in with force. They didn't even actually go for their own smokes, and they pushed through the initial smoke that was dropped out at the front of A main. So the trouble now for ENCORE, yes, they've got a money bonus going, but if they continue to force out with full M4s, they're not getting enough nades to delay. And again, they had, I think, a number of nades that weren't even actually used in that round, because the initial one, the smoke was thrown out on A main, and by the time they came for a retake, smokes didn't matter. Bomb was already down and in place, so I think they had 2 flashes at that point. And that's, I mean, that's an investment that if you're only going to have those small nades, you've got to make them work extremely well and extremely efficiently. They don't do that, and then the M4s, they lose the round. You got to question, I mean, early setup, if they can get more nades out, if they go for the FAMAS, would it be better in delaying them a little further? So it's a buy debate, and as a result of the big investment on the M4s, they're now back to pistols this time, even with that bonus. And Zarte's actually going to catch Michu this time, so pushing through into A main. With a bit of a stack on A, this time they'll actually get the rifle as well. So ballsy play from Nasu to push up, but they obviously think that's worth it, and it pays off.
It does now. A 4-on-4 or a 4-on-5 situation right now coming up, and NSU with that AK on his hands, Molotov as well. They're still pretty much holding this down, and it comes down to how they're going to be playing with these pistols right now. They're going to be taking offensive peaks or defensive peaks. It comes down to how they're going to be playing this. And GAMERS2, they know that, hey, we've got one man down compared to what we're seeing from ENCORE right here, but we're going to be seeing great play coming up here on middle. Karan finishing out Maniz and Miles, and they're pretty much going to grab that 1-man advantage as well, now equalizing it back to how it was earlier. And Disturbed, NSU, and Karan, they're still in this, you know, picking off of the B side here, though. We're going to be seeing a slightly small push coming up here on middle by GAMERS2. The fact is here, they're taking way too long.
This is a weird rotation, though, because they had 3 on B. They got that initial slowdown, and then they rotate back to A. That's the right call to send everyone, but they pulled everyone off B. But there's your information. Innocent takes down Karan. They know they're coming A. Good hold from Nasu. Doesn't get over aggressive, and he drops them both on the trying to cross inside the site late. That's a good round. Much better execution from ENCORE that time. And again, making the man advantage early gave them all the positioning they needed to execute the end of that round, closing out the round. And look what we get as a result. An op-out on Zarte, an op-out on Standa. This is going to help them get back into this.
Definitely, and it really that one first frag in the beginning of the round gave them so much to play with, as GAMERS2 just got unsure what they were going to be doing. So definitely, I think that's a huge investment. ENCORE just risking out one player going in for an entry all the time against this team, because GAMERS2, they rely so much on having the full team on when they actually execute into a site now, as far as I can tell. So with that said, you know, GAMERS2, what we need to see here is actually a slightly, Zarde right there getting Minis even with the bomb. Yeah, that is a huge advantage take in this one round on Karan on middle. It's like ENCORE got on fire out of a sudden. I don't know what's going on right now.
That was really smart by Karan. He heard the first player run over, takes the peek, realizes he's got someone beside him, gets them both, and now that they've secured these positions with that bomb already down, if they lost that battle at mid, then it actually would have pulled Zarte back inside the site, and they would have been able to recover the bomb. But by winning that battle, now he can just stay put, hold it off. Spiro, nice shot with the Tech 9, but ENCORE, again, a much better execution, and that's important. Money bonus was reset, and they survived with 4 up. Now that look at their bank, it suddenly switches completely the other way. We've got 7,000 on Nasu. They do bring out one upgrade to, I think it was an M4, which was bought out for Karan, but this looks a lot better than it previously had. It's still not perfect, but it's definitely a much better situation to be in. If they lost 2 players there, 3 players, it would take them a whole other round to build up bank, and now they have a chance to do it with this round.
Definitely. Coming into this next round, though, we're seeing GAMERS2 who are pretty much, they did even need a drop there on Minis. So with that said,
this is key as well. They have actually got someone inside the fence this time. So now they have a 3 mid plus 1 on B basically, because that guy can swing so quickly. And where Stonda's playing aggressive, I don't think they saw the boost, but where he falls off, they may fail to check it just because he was so aggressive on his own. Usually you'll play that angle passively and let them fall into the vents, but where he's already there, the thought may be that there's not going to be a second player. They check the corner, but they don't check the vent, and as a result, there it is. Karan takes down Spiro.
Yeah, and Michiru right there on Zarde, and it's going to be important that he gets the second frag, and he will. NSU going down. Now, a 2-on-4 situation as Innocent actually goes in for the kill on Karan, and with that said, Disturbed is going to be holding down the ASR pretty well here, getting that 1 kill on Mozino, and Mehu just going down as well. Now, 2-on-2 situation equalizing this, and Disturbed, really an MVP for this round. We'll see how he plays this off on the A side. Innocent is actually on B vents here, so with that said, as he jumps down here and into the site, Stan is actually here to hold that down. A 1-on-2 situation. Innocent, here's the steps coming up here. And Stan is just going to be going down from the back, and it's just going to be a Cucko kill.
So GAMERS2 do end up taking the round, despite that it looked like a good initial setup from ENCORE. So they'll continue on, and now ENCORE, we said they were starting to build economy. At least they can force out this one despite losing. That was the important part of staying efficient in the previous round. It doesn't end up building a bank, but it leaves them with a chance to try and get another round potentially before a save. Keeps it a little bit closer, gives them more chances moving forward, and they've already smoked off correctly into mid, but Innocent still spams through. That was an impressive shot. Random bullet, no less. He was running back and forth. There's no way that was any planning at all, but luck is on his side. He gets the first. Look at Nasu. He wants to flash through this snacks flash, but I don't know if he'll check that first corner, and in fact, he actually catches him. Spiro doesn't dodge it at all. That was well placed inside the smoke, so excellent execution. Excellent execution. Excellent choice of words, but ENCORE, that's a much better play. This brings it back to 4-on-4.
And, the fact that they get that 1 frag is actually going to be equalizing this once again, 4-on-4 situation. And GAMERS2 now, they know that, hey, we ain't got that 1-man advantage anymore. We got to push in with the guys we have. And, ENCORE, they're playing a great play. And now that they spotted out Mazzino inside Squeaky here, that's going to buy them some time because now they know that, hey, if we throw a Molotov or whatever, a flash, whenever they decide they want to push out, Mazzino is going to be the one who's stuck there because we know that, hey, we have a guy coming up from that area. Now, with that said, there's 3 people holding down the A site.
There's no smokes, though. They only have 4 flashes left to work. Make it 3. Maybe make it 2 if Disturbed tosses this one at B. And right now, Disturbed could actually be going for a push, because if they think this is A, he could have got that information a lot sooner. But by sitting back, he's nowhere near the A site, and they've already entered. They've already taken down the 2 holding players. Karan manages to claw back into the first. That's Michu, but Minis, bomb already down, has the vision over top of the smoke back toward Truck. If he could just spot him out, and he does, he has a great chance to hold this site. Disturbed, though, that's aggressive play. He's already in. Karan's going to watch his back, and that means he can get the first shot onto Minis. This brings it back to a 2-on-2, and they're both stacked up on quad. Rather, they're not. Okay, for some reason, I thought I saw 2 players in the X-ray. It's Innocent that's still at main. This is a much better post-plant position, but Karan's going to try and hold this, facing it. Has to get off it. No, doesn't. Almost got there in the end, but good composed peek from Innocent. That'll bring it back to GAMERS2, and now it's going to have to be a save. So 9-2, looking potential 10-2 here for Gamers. On the T side, Cash, that's a really good. Of course, this is their map choice, but that's a really good start.
It really is. GAMERS2 here with 9 rounds, and we're facing down ENCORE right here. As they win that 1 round, we're going to be seeing a pistol round coming up here, so probably we'll see some aggressive play come up one more time here by ENCORE, like they did the earlier rounds, so potentially around here coming up by them. We'll see how that faces off. Innocent there with the entry on Zarde, Disturbed. Just, what was that, through the smoke? It was through the smoke?
Yeah, Disturb definitely landed
Yeah.
that shot through it, but Karan's going to find Innocent in the vents. That slows down the push, and you were right. They actually initially wanted to go with that 3 push on B. The problem was that a flash came out instantly and slowed them up, so that effectively slowed down the initial plan, foiled their plans to get information early and funnel off the offense. Led to a good exchange. They do get 2 kills out of this, but now it's slowly going back the way of G2. They've gotten into the A site. Pistols will come up from Highway. Nice shot from Karan. Does take down Mozino, and they still have an SMG, so if they can find a way to get up close, they don't have any smokes to do it. If they can get up close, they have a chance to take the fight. Bomb's going to go down. Manise is in the open, but the SMG from that range won't be able to shoot him down that quickly, and they know exactly where he is. So the AK is going to swarm. Does get the first though. Can he get the second? No. Michu staying alive. 27 HP. And there it is, double digits already for G2.
Yeah. It's going to be looking dark here for ENCORE. Now, if they do manage to clinch the 3 rounds that they have remaining, then potentially, you know, the second half is going to be a little bit easier for them, and obviously it is. So, you know, they have the nades this time. They have everything they need to pretty much hold down and delay a push here from GAMERS2. It depends on how they're going to be playing with the nades they already have. And GAMERS2, they're pretty much sneaking in B lobby here. We're going to be seeing some aggression coming up here by ENCORE. They're not going to be pushing entirely through that smoke, though. So, with that said, GAMERS2 are just waiting outside and waiting for a mistake to be done. Spiro spots one out, but through that smoke, it's going to be hard to find a kill coming.
Stonda's just trying to peek away at the drop right now. Manise, the rest of G2, passive play. Interesting fallback from Nasu. This leaves Disturbed alone in the B site. They're in a good position to retake or at least get back over quickly, but the problem is retaking on B, you pretty much have to wait for smokes to dissipate if they throw one out on the CT side. And the good news is it's all going to be rifles. They won't have an op like we saw Tarek with CLG, for example, on ESEA that gets held out by that single smoke. They'll be able to push through it if they want to, but Disturbed inside the site's going to do it alone. Massively efficient play, and now he goes to the pistol. Innocent caught. They don't check the corner, and he pops. I actually popped out really aggressively because the teammates were in position to at least distract, and that was perfectly executed. He gets 4. Manise, the last one left, and he's low HP, Disturbed on 6. Manise on 12. Doesn't matter. Stonda's going to get it. We won't see the ace, but that was well played by Disturbed. If you're going to be alone inside this site, you have to stay alive. He knows one better than that. He gets 3 kills on the way through.
Definitely. And the support from Higher was really delayed. So with that said, the fact that he gets those 4 kills is really buying them one more round here. Now 3-10, and forcing down GAMERS2 to play with pistols in this next upcoming round. So they've got those 5 smokes, and they're going to be lining up for them on the A side here. And eventually an execute is about to come up here. As far as that comes, Malzino is going to be boosting up some people on mid. Spiro is up here holding down with a P250, and the push is coming. There's no one to hold it down as for now. Spiro are pretty much going hands-free out and into this. So with that said, they're getting that one open frag on Stani. We can see if there's going to be a reply Nasu with 2 great frags on Innocent and Mihu. Spiro goes down as well, so that's going to be important. With that said, 1-on-4 situation. Manise, there's not much you can do there, my friend. So 4-10. And ENCORE getting back into this.
Yeah, that was really well executed. That was much cleaner, much more effective. Again, they've already given up the 10 rounds T side. Round 15, we will get 1 Galil for Spiro. The rest are all on AKs. We do have an op for Stonda. Where's he going to play with that op? That's the question, because it's a solo op. So it's going to be A quad. He'll have the shot into A main. Zarda's going to get actually really close to support. He could actually fall on Highway, and they could actually put a 3 hold on mid, because already Spiro's got in there. And it looks like they want to push and contest onto these vents, and somehow Karan gets caught in the open. The problem when you play sandbags like that is that you can't cross back over so easily, and he tried to with Michu above and gets caught in the middle of nowhere. Zarda gonna have the same thing happen as he gets aggressive. That's really aggressive. I don't know why ENCORE tries to take those fights. They already know they're mid. All they have to do is just make sure they hold it so they can't get to the vents, but rather they try and get aggressive on the fights and end up dropping down. Good push this time from Nasu. They traded with Disturb, but that drops bomb. That's even bigger. And now he's gonna flash out. Well played, catches Michu low HP, and Nasu solo, but as we can see, the hot potato's just in front of him. He just has to make sure he can limit this to one-on-ones. He has overlooked the first, but there, oh, 7 HP. This isn't going to look likely, and he gets caught with the nade. So 11 rounds now for G2. Good late aggression from the B-side push, but again, I have no idea why ENCORE tried to be so aggressive in mid to take those fights. I love how Malzino's going to get a death added to his tally because he died after the round. He couldn't move away from the fire. He was trapped.
Yeah. I think Encore, what we really saw there from Encore was the fact that they got, the eco push and they managed to clinch that one round against Gamers2 in the early beginning of the first half right there. It, made them believe that, hey, if we keep pushing like this and we at least get one entry on Gamers2, we might be able to pick that off and get the round done for us. But it didn't work out all the way, especially not when you faced off against Gamers2 with the heavier weapons. So coming into this pistol round, we'll see how they play off. And Gamers2, pretty much, we have Mihu already down to 12 HP as that bullet comes down to main. So there's a slightly delightful push here coming up on B side. And Corone, Stane, and Nasu, they're out here. The bomb is with them, and they're going to be pushing eventually. Trying to fake off to A, I believe. And Spiro is going to go in for that one frag on Nasu, trying to stay alive. Stane is going to get that kill on Malzino. And one after one, just getting into the A, or to the B side. Karan, Zarda going in for the kill on the knees right there, and it's just going to be back-to-back fire coming up here. Innocent is alone, though, and it's going to be making it a one-on-one situation as he actually picks off Disturb. Now, we have Karan in the advantage, having 60 HP. So, Mihu with 9 HP here, he's down and lower, and if he decides he want to push as the plant comes down, he'd buy so much more time by just sneaking. So, Karan, now he has an idea of someone being here. Now, Mihu still has the time to push, and he is going to be sneaking. In fact, Karan doesn't have an idea. He has slightly an idea of what's going to be coming up, but, he's still sneaking. Mihu is going to be making that jump up, though, and that's going to be spotting himself out. 5-11, and Encore with the first round of the second half. Great execute into the B side.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy once they got into the site, but they got there with force. It looked like it could have been a little bit cleaner crossing over. Regardless, they get pistol around. That's all that matters at this point, because they're going to upgrade on SMGs anyway. There's no real loss on that. And this gives them a bit of a chance to build some momentum. We'll see if they can use it to their advantage. We are going to see some slight pistol upgrades. Innocent, Spiro, they're going to go to the Deagles, as well as the CZ75 on Maus. But it's SMGs across for 4 out of the 5 players on Encore, so they are going to establish this new meta. Like, I don't know if you've been watching some of the North American teams. We haven't really seen a lot of the North Americans do it until Kaboom last night. So hopefully that develops in North America, because it's definitely an advantage to the economy. And the movement speed as well. As we can see, they just walk into the site. Stonda's going to get one with fire, one with the gun over the top. Nice peek away with the Bison. That's not easy to do, to tap with that gun. So he gets the kill onto Innocent, and they're just building economy at this point. The fact that they keep the 1 AK is nice because it gives them a range game on the entry, but it's not even going to matter. They're going to get all these kills with other guns and other weapons. Although Malzino does make it a little interesting. That's the other aspect, though. Second round, you drop an SMG. It's not a massive investment, so the fact that they're dropping, they lose a few guys, it's not quite as clean as you'd like for a second round. It doesn't hurt as much anymore if you go to a rifle. And Zarda is going to go out and finish off Malzino. So 6 now rounds for Encore. And the question is, how do they up? Yeah, they're going to go straight to the rifle for Disturb. They will bring out an SMG back on Nasu. He wants to keep with it, but it's a debate at this point. You go back to the SMG, you invest back into it, you pretty much rely on yourself getting kills with it. You can, if you build up the economy, you can potentially add some bank, but they go right to the rifles. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Not being efficient on round 2 potentially means you can't buy again on round 4 if you lose the first gun, but either way, it's still a lot easier to your bank than dropping a Galil or an AK.
Yeah, definitely. And they got actually all the 5 kills with SMGs as well, so it's not going to be a major damage on the economy if they lose too many members here. So Disturbed right there on Manise, getting that one frag. Now a 4-on-3 or a 5-on-3 situation. Pardon me for that. 5-on-3 situation is going to be making it interesting here. Encore, we have Stana playing with that Deagle. He is so sure. Now, the B-side is going to be crowded up here, and no one on Gamers2 team is there to pretty much hold it down. They invested, they invested their time and actually go in A and middle to just check that off. Now, on middle, yeah, that smoke failed so bad. Stoned, no, just, why were you, yeah, definitely, why were you in the way? Alright, now, we have G2 Sparrow. He's actually going to be up there on high, but as of that matter comes, we have the rest of Gamers2 pretty much, yeah, what?
If he had more bullets left in his magazine right there, he would have walked into the fire. He ran out of bullets at the exact second the player lined up with that shot. Nice shot by Stonda. Had 3 chances to line it up, but still manages to pick it off with the Deagle. Spiro goes down.
Yeah. 5-3, or, yeah. 5-on-2 situation, and Encore are going to be pushing out together as they go out of the side, which is going to be smart because if one of them die, it's not like, oh, they're pushing out one by one, so it like gives kills to Mouse or the rest. So that's going to be good. And Encore and Gamers2 right now playing a fair play in the second half. Now Gamers2, they managed to.
Sorry, go ahead. I just want to point out this is interesting because Karan didn't die, so he didn't have to upgrade. He still has 5,200. Nasu went back to the SMG. We can't see anymore, but he's at like 65. I can't draw it quickly enough. So the SMG still gives him the potential to buy in the next round, whereas the other player who had to upgrade, I believe it was Stonda, he's at 21. So that's the disadvantage of having to upgrade in the third round after dropping in round 2 and upgrading right away. So there's still an argument to keep the SMG as your rebuy. But back to you. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, I totally forgot what I was about to say, but we'll just get right into this next round, so to say. So, with that said, we have still a 5-on-5 situation, and the execute has already gone out on middle. ENCORE, they're out here, and they have so many decisions to go with here. They can go through vents, they can go through short, and they can even back off and even in towards CT main here if they want to. So, right now they have so many decisions to go with, but they decide they want to back off and in towards vents here. So with that said, Innocent, if he takes this peek now, he has a spot on the members of ENCORE right there, and he actually manages to get Stonda down to 22 HP. Malzeno is going to get that call, but not quick enough to get the kill on Zarde. Now 5-on-4 situation, and Zach comes down. You know, Innocent, what? Disturb going down, and Sparrow as well on Zarde. That's going to be important now. 2-on-4 situation. Great play coming up here by GAMERS2. Innocent on Corona as well. Stonda is alone, and he's going to go down as well. 7-12, and GAMERS2 with the weapons. We're seeing a major difference.
Yeah, no, this is a lot better from ENCORE now. So that round they'll drop away. The problem is, here's exactly what we were talking about. They have to try and get this upgrade. Okay, they will get it out. Excuse me, that round was better from G2, my mistake. But either way, they're going to get the guns back out. They will get the AKs rolling, and they actually do it in a fairly efficient fashion, a little bit better than I would have thought for Disturbed, who was a low-money player. But they get full nades. This is the important thing. They'll have 5 smokes to work with. They have 4 Molotovs. They have lots of execution potential. Everyone's got flashes equipped. But Spiro, that's 1 player down with all of those unused, and that's their first pick for G2. This will give them a lot more map control. 3 players committing to mid right now, going for this boost. Yeah, look at what this does. Mazzino's going to push up. They realize there's no one else B main. They're actually going to smoke this. Okay, so they're going to go for a vent boost. There's 2 options they could have done before they smoke. That is actually push into the B tunnels and try and get a read to mid. But instead they go for the boost. They've already heard that they're coming out mid though, and with Disturb pushing forward, they'll give up on that boost. They could have used it to go for the flank. They still are. Okay, so late boost. They won't get a full control on a push on B. But that Molotov is going to prevent it. That actually locks them in an even further away rotation position, so this puts a lot more pressure on the A players. That smoke out on highway gives them a bit more of a read. Maniz does spot the player at Squeaky, but they're already coming around. And again, failing that boost on vents, not utilizing any kills from it means they have to go the long way from B, so they're still not in position. They're just now arriving up the highway, and Stonda's going to go take Maniz, so it comes back to a 2-on-2 that could have been a lot quicker to play for G2. Fortunately, they do catch Nasu and 5 HP for Stonda. He's got to get this bomb down. He will at least get money, but this is going to be so hard for him to fight himself out. That flash going to be dodged. No, Spiro does get caught. Problem is, as soon as he goes to peek, there's a crossfire on him, and Spiro just peeks back out and takes him. So that late Molotov actually did a lot to save that round, to make it a lot easier for them to take the A site.
Definitely. And, you know, Spiro, the fact that we had Spiro actually taking the peek, if he were to go down, we still had Mihu coming up, and he was actually sneaking all the way from behind if it came to a point in which he had to rush and get that warm frag, because they know that he was low. So, great play coming up here by GAMERS2, just a backup play, and I really like the way they play right now. Want to see more of this when we were watching CS. So, Spiro this time with the op, and he's actually going to go B. And with that said, we're going to be seeing some interesting plays. ENCORE, they're still going to go on towards A site here, so that op is not going to get too much of a usage here on the B side. Disturbed, it looks like they were lining up for smokes, and that's exactly what's going to be coming up. Mihu is going to be pushing through. Sonic just playing the backup right there, and Mihu going down. With that said, you know, ENCORE, they have an advantage actually getting this site done.
Questionable push for Mihu there. No one, he had 2 teammates in A site. Neither of them flashed him. He went in completely naked. Innocent does make up for it, though, after Karan takes down Maniz and brings it back to 3-on-3. Now to 3-on-2. Through the smoke, he'll catch Karan. So bomb is in place, but they haven't established any post-play positions. They can't even cross back over, and there it is. They try to get back out, and Innocent's going to hold that angle. Maus now catches Nasu, and another defuse for G2. There was a quick rotation. They didn't go for a vent boost from Maus. He actually was already rotating from truck, but it came down to Michu. That was a really risky push. I think he was just hoping to win the outright aim duel and catch them off guard by not flashing, but he could have easily had a teammate push him in a little bit better there.
Yeah. Coming up here next, we're going to be seeing ENCORE, and they're pretty much playing with the money they already had here. And with that said, we haven't got too many flashes or or nades here on them. So with the smokes, they really need to do some work and get the frags done by pretty much closing off some parts of the sites here. Zardy is going to go down to 20 HP, even going down a mouse. So 7 of 14. And looks like GAMERS2 are going to get one another round here, but Disturbed getting Innocent. And we've seen Disturbed before. Now 4 HP remaining as he needs to back off. That's going to be giving some time here for GAMERS2 to think of what's going to be coming up next. Manise finishing off Nasu as that door opens up, and 2-on-4 situation. Right now, ENCORE isn't really necessary. They don't even really necessarily have to push right there, but they still do. So with that said, we're going to be seeing a slightly bad, the economy now.
I have no idea why the door player tried Nasu. I think it was lurked in like that. The door opens and he goes right away. Obviously, as soon as that door opens, you're going to draw attention, and you go out completely naked as well. No flashes in for him. You're not going to win that fight. You're better to open the door, and if you don't have the flash, just wait for a second. You know, make them overlook it. Of course, they're still going to know you're there, but if you wait, it means that they can't just firmly fix onto you. They'll have to put some attention back to A main. Meanwhile, look at the aggression from G2. Immediate push on B. They know that they're going to be in weak economy, so they're taking advantage of it early. The Tech 9 from Karan at least gets one back, but Spiro, they're all going to close it out. Spiro picks up the double. Michu with one more, 16-7. Top fragger, Innocent, 24. Michu and Manise on 19, 18 for Spiro, 11 for Mauzino. And then it's 20 for Nasu. That's a